Hi, I'm Dave Jones. I'm a business transformation exec within Sharing and Growth. Been with the company for nearly 12 years now, and I'm going to talk to you today about new product introduction. So there are four main stages to the MPI process. The first one is planning. The second one is product design and development. The third one is product and process validation. And the fourth one is ongoing production. Okay, so I'm now going to take you through each of those in a little bit more detail. So the first one's planning, okay? Planning is really important. You've got to make sure that you get it right. You've got to make sure that you get your team involved right from the start. You need to understand your market. You need to understand your customer. You need to understand your requirements. Effectively, if you don't get this right, it can cost you an absolute fortune later on in the process. So critical at this stage. Make sure you don't rush it. So the next stage is product design and development. So you've got a solid plan. What you've now got to make sure is you start to put that plan into action, okay? Critical to make sure that you're involving all of the key functions. So you need to make sure that you've got design, you need to make sure you've got engineering, you need to make sure you've got production, you need to make sure you've got quality. Everybody needs to be involved at this particular stage. Make sure that you get it right now. Make sure that you start to do those prototype testing. Make sure that it's in a position where once it's able to be tested, test. So the next stage is product and process validation. So we've tested the product during the design phase. What we've now got to start making sure is we start testing it effectively as we start to move into the production stage. Critical at this point to make sure that we're getting the quality right, the safety right, the regulation requirements right, and we believe that we can actually be delivering this in the volumes and the quantities that the customer's requiring. So final stage is ongoing production. You're now in a position where you've got your team, you've planned it, you've tested it. You now need to make sure that you're actually in a position that you can actually make it at the volumes that you require, okay? If you don't get it right at this particular stage, or you've missed any of the key steps during the previous gates, it's going to cost you. Make sure that you've got it right at this stage, because it'll allow you to then start to create that volume production that you need to start doing. Same thing as the previous stage. Make sure that you're testing it, but now you're in a position where you've moved from a development world into a production world. Key point of this stage is to make sure that you're actually, any lessons learned, any learning points, any feedbacks that you get from any of those departments or functions that are involved with this, you need to start building in as quickly as possible. So I recognized that throughout my four stages, I've been referring to costs. Costs isn't just financial, it isn't just a pound sign. Actually, in many instances, costs need to be considered around quality. You need to understand the cost of port safety, and you also need to understand the implications of your team's time, okay? Because actually what you're going to be doing, if you get this right, you're going to be making sure that you've got a lot of people allocated to this. Their time is precious, they're a precious resource, so therefore you need to make sure that you're actually doing it properly. So we've been through the process. My top 3 tips: make sure that you've got the right team in place, make sure that you've got the right functions, make sure that you've got the right individuals, and make sure that it's kicked off in the right way so that everybody understands what their requirement is right from the start. So second top tip, don't rush testing and validation, okay? Make sure that before it moves from this stage, you've understood your design requirements, you've understood your safety requirements, you've understood your quality requirements, and you've actually designed in and designed out many of the issues that you've identified through that phase. And the third and final tip is management buy-in. This is not one singular person's responsibility. MPI is a responsibility of the entire company. If you involve the entire company and you get that right management buy-in, these things are going to be so much easier for you to implement. So I hope you found that useful. If you want to learn more, please visit our website to arrange for a free business consultation.